We're back here on the Rich Eisen Show.
I do want to get this started.
Okay. Let's get this man
It's a
started
better
before
program.
it's necessary.
Steve is like, not to compare myself to
Steve
Steve,
Smith
but like,
Sr. is here,
with
everybody.
a little
Hey,
bit
how
of
you
an
doing?
edge, you're better, right? When you're on an edge.
Are you better with an edge?
It's like white man can't jump. Like some players play better pissed off and some don't. I think you do.
I'm not a player anymore, so that doesn't do anything.
So
But
let me ask you this: when you were playing, yes,
when I was a player, I would intentionally or manipulate my aggressiveness.
okay.
I would utilize. I knew I was very intimidating, so I would give looks and stares without saying anything. Now we're doing TV more in the last couple of years too. Obviously, I kind of play off of it a little bit, but a lot of times, even like on the social media stuff, when I was in Cleveland. So the backstory behind Cleveland is, if you go back and look at the video, my eyes are red, like I'm tired. That was Thursday night. I flew to Cleveland Wednesday, but I had landed in Charlotte from Germany that Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I mean that Tuesday night.
Mhm.
So it was Tuesday, slept, got on an airplane, went out there, and so I was extremely exhausted. I was tired. And so when you see him jumping in the background, everybody was like, oh, I know he's dead serious. The truth is, if they would have hit me while I was on camera, I would have played dead and fell out so hard. I probably would have been the first guy to ever get workers' comp on television.
Had the check delivered.
Oh, yes.
On the air.
I would have hit you with the,
My neck, my back.
So I'm very aware of the of how I played and how that works. And so I try to utilize, I've utilized that in a negative way too much, and now just more just kind of playing tongue in cheek. But most of the time, I don't mean to say it like that, but I don't want to say I don't really care. I'm not as serious as people think. I'm overthinker, yes. I'd overthink everything. But I'm actually a really kind of a goofball. I really am.
Steve Smith Sr. goofball.
I am.
Well, I mean, I've seen that side of you since getting to work with you and getting to know you in that regard. But watching you play, as you just said moments ago, by the way, our terrestrial radio audience has returned. Steve Smith Sr. from NFL Network and so much more here on the Rich Eisen Show. And I'm looking forward to talking to you about NFL's most interesting jobs, which is a show that you're hosting for the NFL's YouTube channel. That when you played, you said you would manipulate.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is that another word for saying manufacture? Is this sort of
No.
Jordan coming up with things that didn't really exist to get him all pissed off so he can go torch the opposition? Did you make stuff up?
First of all, me and Jordan in the same category. Only way that is possible is because I live in North Carolina. So let's go ahead and divide that right now.
I see what you're saying, but I think what I've just put out there is somewhat similar to your mindset of what you're creating.
No, it's not necessarily true, because there are times, right, with Sam Mills going in the Hall of Fame, great job for Sam Mills, well-deserved, the best Carolina Panther ever. I believe the first guy to represent our organization to go in there. I remember I was having dinner with our former president, who was a good friend, Mark Richardson. And we were having dinner. It was probably about 6-7 months ago. We were having dinner. He was in town, and we were just all rehashing. There was a group of us. We were talking, and he had said something that kind of sparked the conversation. And he goes, "Man, not bad for a punt returner." And I just kind of and I said, "A punt returner," and he rolls his eyes. Oh, here we go. And the reason I'm using that as an example is, in college, I played wide receiver. Who happened to play punt return, and the reason I played punt return and I was capable of playing punt returns because my dad was a semi-pro. Growing up, 126 Avalon, right down Willowbrook / Magic Johnson Park, my dad was a semi-pro punter and a fullback. And by the age of 9 or 10 years old, I was catching punts. So in Pop Warner, high school, college, I had 10 plus years of expertise of catching punts. And I just did it because I wanted to be around my pop. And so me being a punt returner was the added part. I played wide receiver. I was a wide receiver. Now, scouts didn't want to say that I was maybe a wide receiver that was undersized at a non-respectable school at the time, which is the University of Utah. Because if you go back in 2001, there was another wide receiver who was the same height as me, who happened to play at a school that started with a U called the University of Miami, whose name was Santana Moss, he was the same height, and he was a first rounder, and no one ever said anything about his height. And so I mentioned all that to say, I'm not manufacturing that I was given, it was taken away things or slighted. I was slighted. And to the point of where my former president of the team is still saying, we only drafted you as a punt returner, and I am the all-time receiver for the organization. And he still put me in the category of, well, we didn't really think you were going to be what you are today. So I'm not like holding on to it and manufacturing. It's not a chip. It's I was in a three-legged race, and I was three-legged, but all the other people had four legs. And I was expected to do the impossible. I've done it. And then now people are saying I'm manufacturing some of the things that people told me to my face. And so I'm just trying to I'm shaking it off and trying to be a duck and smiling and laughing and really enjoying just kind of doing some of the silly stuff that I get to do now. And one of those is to come back home, come to LA and be on a show that's well respected by a guy that I've been watching talk about sports for my whole life of playing sports. Everybody wants to be on SportsSpin or be on this, be on that. And I've had the opportunity to be and integrate my life and our lives together and be on that stage. And it's been pretty darn cool for a screw up from LA.
Yeah, you get the last laugh though, Steve. People say all that things about you. Like, you're laughing last now.
Yeah, I'm not laughing a little bit because I got to explain myself all the time. I do give off the, and these are my words, not anybody else's words, I do give off the angry black guy face, I do. So I'm working on it, smiling more.
Look at that smile right there.
It's actually pretty good. All the dental work I've had done, shit, I need to show that thing off. Brushed my teeth this morning.
The manufacturing I was talking about, Steve, though, isn't what you just mentioned, that you say facts. The facts of the matter is how you were born into this league and how you were perceived in this league and the perceptions that you had to break in this league and that you still need to break in your estimation about what people view of
But I've also played into that as well.
No, and I understand that. Yeah. The manufacturing I'm talking about is just on a game day.
Oh, no, it's real.
When you're across a guy.
It's not manufactured. It's real.
That every guy that you had a grudge against really was a legitimate grudge, you think?
Some guys were legitimate grudges. Some guys would try to. I've had several guys at times, and even as an analyst now. As a player, I had a guy one time, like he asked me a random question it was like right at the snap of the ball. He was like, hey, man, by the end of the game, man, you think I can get your gloves? I said, my gloves? And that played into it because there was a running back, there was a run play coming our side, and I could have smashed him. And I didn't. Because he asked me for my gloves, and I didn't want to be a dirtbag. I was like, I can't go over there and knock the snot out of this guy. And he just asked me for my gloves. You're a real dirtbag if you do that. So he got me. I think I was going against
he got me.
Do you think he didn't really want your gloves, or he was just using?
No, he really wanted my gloves,
Okay.
but I think it also, because he wanted my gloves, it kind of hit me in that soft spot, right, where I was like, oh, I can't
destroy this dude.
I can't destroy it. Right? I can't be a dirtbag, right? Antonio Cromartie, he was playing with the Jets. First play, he goes, how's the fam? I said, good. It just threw me off, right?
But you should ask the same thing about him.
No. Stop it. Stop. Stop it. He's a great dude.
Asked him
Stop
one
it.
by one.
Stop it. Stop being inappropriate. That's not very nice.
I'm just pointing out.
You don't need to. You could
Steve.
as media, we don't always have to regurgitate all the information.
Don't reach for the low-hanging fruit if it's just there, is what you're saying.
Just move on.
Okay, so you were saying
Best dad ever.
Well, that should be Antonio's sign.
Oh, stop it now. He's not wrong, though. What else you were saying?
Not to my recollection.
No. So what did happen with Aqib Talib that day? The ice up. What led to the ice up, son?
It was
Come on now. Let's just do that and then we'll move
moving on.
No, let's just do that and then we'll move on.
We're moving on.
We are?
Yeah.
We're just moving on.
Yeah. I'm not gonna like angrily look at you on the move on. I'm gonna smile and look.
Look at him. Look at Steve Smith
Because
Sr.
I would back in the day, I would be like,
Still in there.
yeah. Nah, but I'm like, man.
Okay.
Talib's a good dude. We've talked. When he was with Denver, and he was playing the Eagles. We had took my son Boston, took him down to see Torrey. I was doing a show out in Philly, so we watched the game. And actually,
Torrey Smith.
yeah, Torrey Smith.
He's,
when he was with the
he's
Eagles.
good people.
Great
man.
people. And we went and saw him, and I actually have in my phone. I have a picture of my son Boston, and Talib took a picture, and so a lot of things that people associate or think that I'm, just an angry black man walking around looking to fight everybody and all of that. I would say about 89% of that was pretty factual when I was playing. I did look for, I look for, not to have a good day. Like some people wake up. They say some people wake up like, I'm looking for it. I wake up looking for that, right? I had a buddy the other day text me, say, hey, good luck on the show. I said, good luck. I just woke up, boy, I'm ready, right? And so now it's just like using that same energy to express it and show my admiration for all these guys that's playing. So when I come in, as, in the locker rooms and stuff as analyst, I get them, they tiptoe a little bit like, is he still angry, Steve? And then I'm like, what's up? And they're like, hey, it's the awkward like.
Do you want to know if it's sunny or cloudy
Yeah,
outside?
yeah,
We'll see what it is.
Yeah.
Well, and plus you're, that line. What was that? The famous line that NFL Films picked up. If you see this face, what did you?
That
say?
means I scored.
That means you scored.
That play we were playing against the Atlanta Falcons, and my family was in the stands, and they had a penalty. Somebody did something. It was a penalty, and I was saying words that my kids can read. My wife Angie was showing me. So shout out to Angie. She kind of pushes me a lot to. She's just like, baby, you just gotta be a better example for the kids. So shout out to Angie.
Your wife is spectacular.
She is. She deals with me.
I've met her many, many times. So she told. So where did that line come from? Where did that line? You just came out of the dome. If you see this face, that means I've scored.
Yeah, and then I said it, so I had to redo it. So if you see this face, I'm kind of I don't know. I just sit around and think of stupid stuff. That's the part. I'm really kind of silly. I really am.
That's great. More people should know that about you.
I'm glad I didn't show that earlier on because now it's kind of helped me now and later in life.
There you go. Well,
Also, Rich,
yes.
Steve has he's a quote machine, and there are websites just devoted to
Are there really?
some of
There
the
are
great,
websites?
the best quotes of your life. I mean, some of these are incredible, like the lunch money. I look in the eyes of all my victims before I take their lunch money.
Yeah, that's because I got my lunch money taken a few times when I was a kid, and I took a few people's lunch money, so that's more of a.
What else? What else is on this site?
That film was a coaching session. They're going to be coaching that. I'm 35 years old, and I ran around them boys like they were schoolyard kids. That was one against the Panthers.
That was really mean of me to say. Really,
or
because you gotta think about it. Like these are former teammates, and I just said
It was
it's down
against
the
the
bottom, and
Panthers.
then and then a couple of weeks later in the bye week, I see him at the Whole Foods. So I'm like, what up, dog?
another one. Family members.
Listen, I gotta like if this was like I'm not Catholic, I'm Christian, but if this is like a
confession.
It's a confession right now.
Another,
Father, help me.
Another great one. Family members get to see you play. Ex-girlfriends that wish they wouldn't have dumped you, they're questioning themselves right now. That was after a game, a Monday night.
I was dumped a lot when I was a kid. Had a bad attitude. Go figure, huh?
Oh my
This is
gosh.
turning into poop on Steve session right here. No, I'm joking.
Come on.
Hey, Lee, hey, trying to play victim, man.
No. This is because you're one of one, man.
That's
you are
true.
one
Actually, two.
of one. No, you're one of one.
Deuce
Steve
at the
Smith
house.
Sr.
He's-
I know that. I know
He's
that.
pretty funny. He's pretty.
I
He
know
called. He
that.
called me. I said something. He goes, stupid. That's what he did.
Stupid.
It's pretty fun. We like to have a lot of fun at the house.
Okay. Yeah, we're 8 years old today. It was 8 years old at
Man,
this,
congratulations.
and you are our guest on our anniversary day, which
That
is
is so
fantastic.
awesome.
Where were you? Were you with the Ravens 8 years ago? Where was he 8 years ago?
Yeah, I was with the Ravens.
8 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was 8 years ago.
man,
I know.
that's a long time.
It's amazing.
Still didn't have hair 8 years ago.
Me?
No,
Or you?
me.
Me.
Same.
Both. Him too.
Same, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
18 years ago, I
What really
Didn't have
caused
hair
me to
either.
lose it the most, I think, was the lockout.
Oh yeah.
NFL Total Access during the lockout. Oh my God, that was the longest
So that
4 or
made you-
5 months of my
That made you
career.
lose the hair.
You could see it was beginning to go. I'm not kidding you.
Okay.
it was trending. It was trending.
This guy.
Yeah. Turning.
Look at this guy. Oh my God.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what
everybody.
did it.
Welcome NFL Total
okay.
Access. There's a lockout.
We may
It's
have
March 15th.
I went to
Normally, this is
London.
when it would be free agency.
I went
but
to
here's
London then.
Did you?
Yeah, just to
I don't
get
blame
away.
you. I wish I could have.
Yeah.
Instead, I'm sitting there talking to Albert Brewer, standing on a street corner in Washington D.C. outside the Players Association, and nothing's going on in there. What's going on with you? Well, nothing's going on here, Albert.
Rich, how'd you take it so seriously that you got so stressed that your hair fell out? Though?
No, it was going.
That
It
was a-
was
that's a
going.
cap.
I'm having a little bit of fun with it. It was
Say
going
less.
before then.
Say less.
Good job.
It started to go. Actually, the first Super Bowl we covered was the Super Bowl involving the Carolina Panthers. I was trying to get an interview with this wide receiver, and all he was doing was giving me a stare, and he wasn't going to
falling asleep at the mic.
Steve Smith sleep take. Put that down. That's a good
Steve
fantasy team
Smith
name.
sleep
We got a
take.
new avatar. Steve Smith sleep take.
That's gonna cost you though. Don't use this place for
Fantastic.
free.
Back here on our terrestrial radio outfit, Steve Smith Sr. is still here on the program. All right, let's get into it.
Yes.
The best team in the NFL through 4 weeks, in your estimation?
Has to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Just remarkable to what they're doing. Nick Sirianno, what he's doing. He is. You can see his game plan varies each week. Is based on his opponent. There are coaches out there that are doing things like you talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. I love what Doug Peterson was doing. I did not like what Doug Peterson did last week because as you watch on the football field, you watch that tape, it was not raining on half of the field. It was raining on both sides of the field. But yet you had one team, the Philadelphia Eagles, who adapted and ran plays that were successful, and you had another team that was trying to throw the ball, and it cost them. And I just love what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. Jalen Hurts is playing wonderful. Defense is playing lights out. The wide receivers are Slim Reaper, A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders. It's really becoming a team. When you talk about the NFC East, everybody wants to say it's the Cowboys to lose. It's really starting to become dominant. And the fact, when's the last time we've been able to ever talk about the NFC East and say the Philadelphia Eagles at the same time? It's been a long time.
It's been a while, even in their Super Bowl year. You remember they wore the dog masks because they were
they're
underdogs in
underdog,
every
yep.
single game. I mean, even the year where they won it all, folks weren't thinking that they were for real. Did you refer to Devontae Smith as the Slim Reaper?
Absolutely. Yeah. The Slim Reaper. Love
I haven't heard that one yet.
That was a nickname people were trying to
And-
throw on Kevin Durant, and he refused it.
Okay.
it. Yeah.
So it's available.
Slim Reaper.
I like Devon. I like him. He's really good. Everybody had all these questions about him. Right
with
for
his
the
height and weight.
Or his
and
weight.
speed.
And
Right.
hey, whatever. He could play.
Never his speed. The height and weight was always a question about him.
Hey, he
Right.
could play.
So you like the Eagles? For some reason, I might be overreacting to this. The 49ers, the way that they played this past week, it was, for me, a reminder that they could be that team you don't want to face again. And it happened even though they looked really inconsistent, horrible is another way to put it, against Denver on that Sunday nighter. Against the Rams, they just looked world beaters. They did look that good to me.
Defense, offense. Jimmy Garoppolo is I think dangling that carrot to get him out has made him actually push the ball down the field. He's notoriously not known for pushing the ball down the field. He's more of a system quarterback. There's nothing wrong with being a system quarterback. I'd rather have somebody that knows the system that actually doesn't know the system or is trying to figure out the system right now, which what we're watching with the Denver Broncos with Russell Wilson. He is a top-tier quarterback, but he's still trying to figure out this system. This system is completely different than the system he was in with Pete Carroll. This system I know very well. This system I was in with Baltimore, Gary Kubiak, the quarterback coach, is Clint Kubiak. So that tells me, and knowing Nathaniel Hackett, that tells me that this system that they're in is exactly the system I know to a T. And this system is all about timing. And Russell Wilson is all about making plays without timing, off-schedule plays. This offense is not about off-schedule plays. This offense only moves with on-schedule plays. So getting to understand his style of play, Russell Wilson, Nathaniel Hackett, and this offense, this system. You also have Tim Patrick going down has really hurt them. Courtland Sutton is coming back 2 years removed from his knee injury, but Jerry Jeudy is just a guy. And when you have just a guy, and you have the guy, and then you have no guy at the number 3 position, it's really stressing this offense. And then they don't have a running game, and this offense is built on play-action run game because this style of offense is built on Kyle Shanahan. It used to be primarily with Sean McVay, but now they're primarily throwing the ball more, running second.
Just a guy.
Jerry Jeudy. I mean, he's just – there's nothing wrong with being just a guy, but he's not the guy. He's not better than Courtland Sutton statistically or how he's utilized in this offense. And that isn't a slight or I'm upset with them or saying that he can't play. I'm just saying he can play, just not that the expectation that his draft status was.
And when you were talking about on-schedule, off-schedule plays about Russ and that offense, is that why at the end of that Sunday? Is that why at the end of that Sunday night game against San Francisco, when Russ started doing off-schedule stuff, the offense, we saw Russ throw it down the field in a way that we didn't see for the first 3+ quarters of that game.
Is it
that simple, or it's not that simple?
It's not that simple. It's a lot more complicated than two handsome guys sitting at the desk discussing. But unfortunately, the plays that are printed on the paper are all touchdowns, and they're all completions. It's the defensive coordinators and the defensive players and the Pro Bowlers and the potential Hall of Famers down on other teams who have their hand in and saying, hey, we don't want you to do what you want to do that's scheduled on paper.
Steve Smith, Senior here on the Rich Eisen Show. What are you thinking of what we're seeing out of Miami? Because Bills Chiefs going into the season, everyone's thinking we're going to see that again.
Yeah.
We saw what the Chiefs just looked like against the Bucs. The Bills, despite the last 2 weeks, they're 3-1 with a very difficult quarter of the season now behind them on their schedule. What do you think of the Dolphins? Can they truly jump in there and join this party?
Well, you look at their defense. Their defense is crazy physical. They're playing lights out. I owe Tyreek Hill an apology. I've said some things that kind of really didn't think he was going to have the amount of success that he's having right now because of his speed allows him to do so many things that other guys just don't have to do. I in the past I would say he runs crayon routes, right? You see some of the stuff and it's zigzag and it's not traditional. But what Mike McDaniels has been able to do, hopefully Tua is able to have some clarity and understanding what his life will be outside of the concussion, and it's not about football. It's about about him and his family. But what Mike McDaniels was able to do, the one read look, Tua has struggled at times in college and in the pros of going beyond the second and third read. Tua also has never really done to date on film a 2-minute drill. The last 2-minute drill that he was close to doing was the Las Vegas Raiders, and they took him out and put in Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's not a slight. That's just something that when you look at someone's game and you analyze it, you go, what's missing? That part is missing about his game. Everything else, he's playing lights out football. They're not even running the ball the way this offense is built for them to run the ball. So when they get that going, they're going to be still problematic. And then you see Teddy Bridgewater. Hopefully, two-glove Teddy will throw the ball down the field as well. So we'll see.
So Bills Chiefs still? You think it's still that conference, or Lamar, despite what's
I'm not
happened
sure.
at the end of games? What do you think?
I'm not sure, just because there's so much parity, and it's so much parity is making fans, it's making us very, like, you cannot turn away. It's making so attractive to watch. You have to watch it to the nth degree. And talk about the 49ers. 49ers travel up down there to Carolina and play them, and man, just God help them. I hope it turns out well for us.
Yeah, this is maybe the worst opponent they could see right now. I mean,
right now they got some other ones coming up too.
I know. What do you think the Carolina Panthers should do? Hold on
tight and pray. It's tough, man. It's tough. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe firing Matt Rhule right now would be the answer, because if you fire Matt Rhule, who's coming in here? Who's coming in Carolina right now with no draft picks and no quarterback? That's not an attractive position. We got to build this team up and fix some of the issues that we have. And firing Matt Rhule is not going to fix it. It's not going to change the season. We have to just play better and get the best out of our offense and utilize a lot of the Pro Bowlers and playmakers that we have on the team that we're not using right now.
Steve Smith Sr. here on the Rich Eisen Show. Speaking of NFL jobs, NFL's most interesting jobs. You visit NFL teams to learn more about some of the most interesting jobs in the league. New episodes Tuesdays, 1 Eastern on the NFL YouTube channel. You're going deep. You're going deep into NFL buildings to talk to people.
It's been fun.
Who have you met?
I've met a ton of people. We've shot 5 episodes in the off season. I was able to shout out to Charlie Yuck. He was
King of Spring.
I pitched him this show that what is it like about football? It's been fun, and so I did the Minnesota Vikings. I was the K-ball specialist for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
The Giants one, I did that back during the season in June. There's other few teams that I've been to, and then we're working on some stuff. Maybe around the Super Bowl. Did some stuff last year in the Super Bowl as well. So the next 3 or 4 episodes are going to be pretty fun.
Okay. I look forward to that.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. So everybody check that out. Tuesdays, 1 Eastern on the NFL's YouTube channel. Who do you think wins tonight? In the minute I have left with you here.
You got to go with the Denver Broncos. Their defense, even though they're there, Patrick Surtain II, never seen a second-year guy.
He's good.
Be able to play as well as he playing. He hasn't even scratched the surface. It's unbelievable, right? So you have him. Offense is going to sputter a little bit. They're just not going to, especially for the Colts. Last year they were a game away. A quarterback away. Right now, a quarterback away from being a playoff team.
Yes.
They're offensive way from being a good team. It is struggling. No running game. Their offensive line isn't actually as good as it used to be. Matt Ryan, he's been a nuisance to us in the Carolina Panthers for years down on that I-85 battle, Carolina versus the Falcons. So to get him out, hell, I wish he was back in there right now, because that would actually help us, because the way our defense is playing, lights out. Matt Ryan he doesn't look comfortable. He's not delivering the ball. Pressure that's getting to him off the spot. Offense that can't run the ball. I like Frank Wright, and I'm actually concerned for his job, because I think he's an unbelievable coach, great man, and I'm not sure what the heck happened from last year to this year.
It really is just a quick, amazing turnaround. Steve Smith Sr., thank you for coming on here, man. Let's do it anytime. Come back.
I'm sorry that all the years of me
staring at you
has contributed to your hair loss. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that.
I apologize for that.
I appreciate that, Steve. You're very kind to mention that. And
as a fellow bald-head guy,
we're in bald brotherhood.
Look, I just shaved it too. That thing is.
Dion left us on the battlefield. He left us on the battlefield.
Let me tell you something about
Prime. As he calls himself comeback player of the year, Prime.
Let me tell you about Prime.
Yes.
Every time I look at Prime for a split second, I go, should I? Nah.
I did
He's
that
trying
the
to
other
get
day.
him to do
You
it.
think about it?
He called in the other day for Restore.
Yeah.
Like on behalf. He was doing a tour for the people who put the lid back on his head.
I think I've thought about when he first did it. I was like, if Prime could do it,
I know.
I could do it.
Well, I mean, these guys put different hairdos on my head to make
Yeah.
it seem like they put the Les Snead on my head, right?
The problem is where they get it from. I'm not good with that one.
You're not talking about the store. You're talking about parts of your,
Well,
your body.
I just know what used to be there and where they have to recoup it from. I'm not sure it's going to grow back the same texture.
Right.
So I'm not willing to roll that dice.
Nah.
I'm going to roll that
This is
dice.
the hand I was dealt.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let's rock and roll. It's working out.
If you see this face, that means I've restored.
That's a pretty good one. I like that. Do I have to get the hair plugs to get the commercial?
Apparently it's not a plug. There it is. That's the Les Snead on my head.
Looks
Bro,
good.
you look handsome right there.